All right, you're watching S-StarTV. It's DJ Double, and today I'm here with my man Doom Man. What's good?
What's going on?
All good, mate. All good. So you've been in the game for a minute. Talk to me. How did you start? How did you get into the music business?
Wow, I've been in the game for over 12 years, but I've been doing it professionally for I'd say about 7 or 8 years. So I started off just being a fan of hip hop and enjoying the music. And when I was going to high school, that was the wave. Do you know what I mean? Hip hop in America was flourishing, and I was into like Public Enemy, Wu-Tang, NWA, all the hardcore stuff. I was really into. Stuff. Yeah, no, I was into that real stuff. Yeah, and then pretty much just started writing my own lyrics, but they weren't any good at the time. But it was just to see the format of how lyrics were written and understanding the culture and stuff like that. Really, yeah.
Cool, man. So when you started out back in them high school days,
Yeah,
it was the Assassin, right?
yeah. It was the Assassin. It was like, names for artists is funny. When you're coming up for names, you want to find the hardest name. You want to find a name that you can go, I'm the warrior. I'm the, And at the time, Assassin just seemed fitting because lyrically, that's how I came across. I was quite abrasive, and I used to I've always been an attacking artist, even if it's not against a particular person. I just like that way of MCing, the aggressiveness of it. And so Assassin was fitting, and I was in a group, and that I got into, and then that was the name I had.
All right, so the crew that you was with was the Dungeoneers.
Yeah.
Right? So was that back in the high school days?
That was just after. I was about 17 at the time, so I just left high school, was in college, and through a good friend of mine, I met the bunch of guys in Southall. So they were all from Southall at the time, and basically there was a session that we had, and we were listening to music, and everybody was rapping, and they were like, "Oh, spit something," and I did I think it must have been a 16. It was crap. 16 was awful, and there was this guy in the corner sitting there, and had his hat low, dark skin, and they were like, "Yeah, Trooper, you rap something," and he went in, he started rapping, and when I heard him spit, I couldn't believe there was someone from the UK that had that skill. You know what I mean? I heard a few people at that time, but he just stood out to me. And then it was like, if I'm going to be anything, I've got to be like him or better. And I went back to the drawing board. 6 months later, I was part of the Dungeoneers.
Cool, man. So after that, obviously, you kind of went your own way.
Yeah.
Doom Man came out of it all, and you developed as a solo artist. But you've worked with a lot of other artists, done collaborations with people like Harvey, Ashley Waters. Was Tinchy in there as well? Tiny. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, Tiny Temper.
Tiny Temper. Loads of artists. I mean, I had a mixtape out called Until That Day, Volume 2, and I had loads of East artists on there. DEE was in there. I had Bruiser on there. I was working with Terra Danger was making beats for me. I was working with a few people, man. Yeah, collaborating. I mean, collaborating is not really, to be honest with you, I'm not a great collaborator. I don't really like collaborating with too much people. One, because the unprofessionalism in the industry, getting people to come to the studio or getting people to do, to get them to write and stuff like that. A lot of the time, you're chasing them, and I stopped really doing that. I like just working in my own camp, and then if someone likes to work with me, then I will. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. So end of last year, you and Harvey dropped a sick freestyle for S-StarTV.
Yeah, big one.
How did you guys link up in the first place?
Harvey, I met about 7-8 years ago. I was part of a label called No Apologies, and at the time, I was working on my album and a couple of mixtapes, and Harvey was working in the studio next door to me, up in King's Cross, and literally the day that Harvey popped his head into my studio, I actually wasn't there. So he must have heard some music coming out of our studio, and listened to it. Probably standing outside the door knowing Harvey. And then went in, put his head in, was like, oh, I'm Harvey, and then boom, he heard my stuff. The next day was at the studio, he came back in, and I happened to be in the studio where he was working. Right. And he was like, oh, bruv, you got some, you could spit, blah, blah, blah. And obviously I knew who he was. And we just became friends from there. He jumped on my mixtape, then I did a record called We Ride that was on AKA and got a little love. And then we just been working together ever since. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, man. So what about your ultimate collaboration? Dead or alive, who would you most like to work with?
That's a good question. Dead or alive? Realistically, or am I just thinking, am I going out there?
Anyone. It can be out there.
Because you say something, you're like, that's never going to happen. I would say, all right, I'll give you two artists. I would like to work with Roots Maneuver.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah.
He's like, again, he was somebody who inspired me when I was still young and just listening to hip hop. He was from the UK and I could relate to him, definitely. I would have said So Solid, but now that's what I've done. You know what I mean? I've already accomplished that. Crazy, off the top, like I would love to have worked with somebody like Jay-Z.
Okay.
That's, to me, ultimate artist, ultimate rapper, ultimate MC. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Fair enough. So you had a lot of your music's featured in, or some of your music, I should say, featured in a video game with D12 a while back. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, that situation came out of the blue. It was just a lot of the things happen in the music industry from who you know, a lot of the time. So I knew a game producer, and I still know him, and he was working on a game called Crime Life, and wanted music for the game, and then basically through connections, we also got D12 involved in the situation, and so that was just, it was a matter of about a month or two. It was just going around, and they wanted to work on the game. It's Konami, so it's a big game company anyway, and then obviously through my contact, they were like, look, send some of your stuff and we'll put them on the game. And that was it. That's how it all came together. And months down the line, I was on the game. I got a lot of love for that as well. That gave me a lot of international love. A lot of people on YouTube who heard the music from that computer game still hit me up now and say like, how's music going and stuff like that. So yeah.
It's a good look, man. Taking it from a completely different angle, innit? Like another approach. So that kind of adds D12 to the list of collaborations, really. Yeah. I know there wasn't a Doom Man D12 track, but same project. Talking of collaborations, how about working with Rizzle Kicks one day?
Wow, if that happens, that would be very interesting, to say the least.
So obviously, I'm referring to the track "The Body Bag," which again you can catch the video on S-StarTV, and you call out Rizzle Kicks. Why?
I call out more than I call out Jason Derulo too.
But I'm mainly the reason I'm interested in them is because I know there was a bit of Twitter interaction.
Right, Body Bag. Body Bag is a metaphor for rubbish. It's not, people ask me, body bag, what do you want to? It's like, that's not what I'm about. What I'm about is authenticity. And when I hear the Rizzle Kicks, that's not authentic to me. That music ain't what it's about. And obviously they have a fan base and they're doing pretty well. I'm not hating on them as people. I just don't like their music, and I'm entitled to have an opinion as an other artist who makes credible, authentic music. And it was basically, the situation was Body Bag, the beat came, and I was like, this is what I need to do. And I've always, do you know what the thing about it is? There's a lot of artists. Rizzle Kicks ain't just like, there's loads of artists that I could have mentioned, but it's like that opportunity's gone. Rizzle Kicks are just actually current, and that's why they're involved in it. Do you know what I mean? So, like, when I was tweeting them, and they replied, which was very interesting.
What was the reply?
It's very weak. Very weak. Like, they don't want it with Doom. And the thing about it is, again, as if I met them, it's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to beat them up. It's not like that. It's music.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? That's all it is. It's not a serious thing. Do you know what I mean? But they replied and they were like, oh, haha, blah, blah, blah. But I went in on them. Yeah, I went in on them. And the last tweet I made to them was, yeah, I don't come back on my timeline again unless you make something credible. And then we can talk. And that was the last time they replied.
Fair enough. So it probably, realistically, they probably won't be coming back on your timeline.
No, they don't want it. They don't want it.
So you mentioned earlier you've been in the business for like around about the last 12 years. You've been doing it, and obviously your inspiration's coming back to like Wu-Tang and stuff, and what I like to call real hip hop artists. And that was the days when hip hop was real. Yeah. The music business has changed a lot. The game's changed. The sound of music has changed. You know, these days, like rappers making dubstep tunes. Yeah. Have you found it difficult to kind of evolve? Because I would say your music's current. You did the tune with the producer. I don't know, Yonokaran. What's
Yonarican.
Yeah, that's it. I never know how to pronounce it.
Yonarican from Chicago, man.
That's it, Yonarican. So that's like what was that? Like a tech house?
It was house tech. Yeah, it was like, look, I come from a long line of genres. Yeah. Because when I started actually going out and raving, it was drum and bass. Right. You know, when I started clubbing and stuff. Hip hop's always been in my life. And then the days of garage, I grew up. I must have been at least 21 at the time. And then the garage was the thing and the crew thing and then we had a group called the Marvel, and me, my brother and some other guys, we collaborated together and we had a crew and we used to do a lot of stuff doing that. And I developed versatility with that because even though I was a rapper, I developed skills. And, to MC on garage is a different type of skill. It's, I kind of brought my element of hip hop into it. When the early garage days, MCs were like ones and a twos and a mic check and that, where I brought the more complex style to it. And, with the Wileys and obviously the Soul Solids did that as well and stuff like that. Along the line, the genres has moved on, and when I got to the point where I made "Don't Talk to Me," I didn't really like to be fair. Like everybody was telling me, "Oh, Doom, you need to do a funky house record," and I was like, "Nah," because I just knew funky house was an in and out genre. But when I heard Baroque and Soul, which is the instrumental, it just hit me. Just musically, it hit me. I was like, "What's that?" And did a bit of research on it, and when I found Yonarican, I found him on MySpace, and I told him about what I was doing with the record, and he was like, I call this deep tech house, and I was like, okay, cool, this is interesting then. But obviously it fell into that genre of the funky at the time. Yeah, a lot of
funky DJs were playing.
And that made me feel better about why I voiced the record, because to me, funky house is not authentic either. It's not, but the dubstep movement, and and the stuff that's more authentic, like deep tech house, which is in America, which is out in Chicago and other places as well. Is definitely a sound that's always been there and always progressed. So, it was only right for me to do what I did with it, and he liked it, and so we put it out together. You know what I mean?
So that was an actual official release, right?
Release, yeah, we put that out.
Yeah, big things, man. So, the latest music I've got from you hasn't been from Doom Man, it's been from The Appeal. What is The Appeal?
Okay. The Appeal is no nonsense, real hip hop, straight street, and it's hard. It's hardcore, but it's still tailored in a way that people can understand it. A lot of people have heard the music and they're really feeling it because of the sound. I met a producer called Fro-back, and is the best thing that happened to me personally in my music career in terms of finding a producer. I mean, I've worked with loads of producers, but him, it was like we meshed, and the sound was like, this is fresh. And so what The Appeal is now is you're gonna hear a lot of stuff from us. We've more or less finished the album already, so we're just dropping things consecutively at the moment. We've got the promo out at the moment, Body Bag and Down for Whatever. That's just promo records, so get that free. But yeah, the appeal is just, it's just real music from the heart. I write what I want to write, hence why Body Bag is the way it is. I say what I want to say, whether you like it or not. I really don't care. I'm at a point in my career as a musician and as an artist where I've got no expectations. So, you know, I'm not doing music for the chart. I'm not doing music because, they're going to like it, or let me do music for women, or I'm just doing music because I happen to be an artist that's been gifted with that, you know, and, you know, I'm just doing what I want to do. And so that's what the appeal is. Yeah.
So what made you think of the name? How come the appeal?
It's crazy. We had when I met the producer Fro-back, he threw me some beats, and I met him on a video shoot set, and he was like, "Doom, I got some beats," and he come to my place and was listening to the stuff, and the first record he played to me is the record you haven't heard yet, right, called "What's the Appeal?" And when I heard the instrumental, that was the theme and the concept that I had. What is the appeal of hip hop? Is it about, you know, tattoos? Is it about the way you dress? Is it about women in videos? Is it about guns? Is it about, you know, crime? What is it? Because there's so many elements to it now. And so what is the appeal was like the name of the track. And then we were like, okay, we need to come up with a name for our group, like for the duo. And you know, as you do, you write down names and you look through the dictionary and you go on the internet and you see something that jumps out on you. And it's crazy because one day I was speaking to my manager, shout out to Samantha, and she was like, why don't you just call yourself The Appeal? I was like, it's sitting right there in front of us, the name. So I hit up Fro-back. I was like, what do you think of The Appeal? He was like, cool. That was it. Ran with that.
Job done. So you mentioned Body Bag and Down for Whatever. Yeah. People can pick them up free. Yeah. Where can they get them from?
You can get it from www.thisistheappeal.com. www.thisistheappeal.com. And you've got 2 records there. You can download them free. And, you know, it's just a little taste of what's to come. We've got some really good records, proper singles that we're going to be putting out from May onwards. Right. So, yeah, look out for that.
And of course, they're free downloads, and people can watch the official videos on S-StarTV, exclusively, nowhere else on YouTube. Make sure you check them out. And the album's coming. What is the appeal?
What is the appeal is going to come out late summer. We just want to make sure sonically it sounds, you know, tight. I mean, we've more or less mixed down a lot of the records already, but we're not in any rush to put it out. You know, because it's such a new movement, and it's because it's not Doom Man anymore. I am still Doom Man as an artist, but what I promote and what I push is the appeal. So I kind of want people to kind of get into that first before they start buying the music. Just like, listen to this. What do you think of this? Give me feedback. I like feedback. I like the stuff that's happening with the Rizzle. The fact of the matter is that they even replied to me was great, because I was like, I got through. Yeah. Like, you know, it would have been a bit weird of me making a record and they didn't even hear it, or they didn't even... Now I got I made the record, it reached them. Do you know what I mean? And they are where they are. So it's great. For me, it's fantastic. You know what I mean?
Definitely, man. So where can people find you online if they want to hit you up, become new fans, etc.? Are you on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I'm on the Facebook. Got my own websites. There's doomman.co.uk. As I said, www.thisistheappeal.com. If you want the Facebooks, just Google Doom Man, DOOMMAN, and Twitter @Twitter Doom Man, same thing. And just get me on the formats. What I say is Google. Google's heavy. Just type the name in, and the list comes up. You know what I mean?
And it's all there. Yeah, it's all there. Nice one, brother. Thanks for passing through. Looking forward to the next video.
Yeah, man. Blessings. S-StarTV. Boom.